Hey everybody, Scary Spikes here, and I'd like to welcome you to episode 3 of Let's Play Rift. In this episode, we'll be taking a look at some PvP Warfronts, some instant adventure, and some 5-man dungeon action, so let's get right into it, and I hope you enjoy. So right now we're in Sanctum, and these are all the quest givers for the PvP quests, so if you're going to be starting out in PvP, I highly suggest you go and check this out, because this is going to give you tons of favor, and you're going to be able to get a lot of gear very quickly. So we're just going to wait for the first Warfront to pop up here. And it looks like we're heading into the Codex. So the Codex is one of the larger Warfronts available in Rift. It consists of largely 4 control points, and the 2 teams pretty much just vying for control over those control points. So obviously the more you have, the more points you gain in a shorter amount of time, and basically the team who's got the most points at the end of the game wins. Pretty easy, pretty standard fare. So you might have seen that in other MMOs before. This guy's gonna try and take us out here. Obviously he's not too happy about us interrupting him trying to take one of our control points, but unfortunately he's out of luck as he tries to circle strafe us and he gets taken out. This is a little bit further into the game here. I just decided to skip up a little bit. They're trying to overwhelm us here because we've taken over most of the control points. We're pretty well ahead of the game here, and it looks like we're going to continue to victory if they don't end up taking any points from us. But they are respawning at a pretty alarming rate, so it looks like it's probably going to overwhelm us very quickly here. So yeah, you know, Rift Warfronts are quite a bit of fun. They are very well balanced, which is something that's really surprised me. There is some gear you can buy in a store. You know, you can buy some PvE gear. You can buy some convenience items, some XP or favor boosts. But largely those things are just convenience items, and they don't really help you in PvP, which is great. They do help you in PvE, which is understandable. You know, it's honestly, if you're questing or whatever, it's not affecting anybody else except for yourself. But it does not affect PvP. If you want any good gear in PvP, you still have to get it yourself. You have to go through the Warfronts and complete the quests and get the favor. So it looks like we've won the game there. And we're going to move straight ahead onto Instant Adventure. So here we are on Arctis Magus with the Mage, and I wanted to show you really quickly about what the Instant Adventure is all about. So we're heading into Stonefield, and basically Instant Adventure is sort of like the correlation between PvE open world exploration and questing and 5-man dungeons. It's a little bit like open world PvE, questing, and exploration because you don't necessarily appear in any sort of small enclosed environment. You're put into a big open world. A lot of things are happening. There are some world events, there are some rifts. In some cases, a lot of these things are happening all at the same time. The great thing is that you're put into a group, and that's sort of where you get the feeling of being in a dungeon. So you're put into a group, you're teleported immediately into this area, and then you work together with your group to accomplish various tasks in the area. You can be doing quests, you can be closing rifts, you can be fighting monsters, or a number of other things as well. So there are definitely some pros and cons to be had in Instant Adventure, as there are in many other elements in all the games that we play. One of the things that I really like is that it does what its name says. It's very instant. Queue times are typically very low, about 2 to 3 minutes, and I don't think I've ever remembered waiting more than 5 minutes to get into an Instant Adventure. The other great thing about Instant Adventure is that it's very accessible. This is very important to me as a casual player, and probably also one of the single most important things in MMOs today. Accessibility has been probably the reason why a lot of people have stopped playing MMOs. While not the only reason, it's definitely something that a lot of people have attributed to the fact that they've stopped playing any game. Games have to sort of try to impress everybody, and I know that's a hard thing to do, but when you have an audience as broad as, let's say, a few million subscribers, you are going to have to try to make everybody happy, even though in the end you know you can't. What makes me really happy though is that a lot of these developers have taken the right step in the right direction and making a lot of their content within their games accessible to casual players such as myself. Now, while I used to be a hardcore player back in the day playing World of Warcraft for about 8, 10, 12 hours a day doing quests, raids, PvP and whatever, I don't have that kind of time now. And being able to jump into a game and have everything accessible and just one button click away is a really, really comforting thought. Anyway, the other great thing about Instant Adventure is that the balance of challenge versus loot is actually not too bad. While it is possible to kill monsters, seal rifts, and complete quests completely on your own within an instant adventure, the whole idea is to do it with your group. Now there are going to be some challenges that you'll come up against that you'll only be able to do with your group, so it's a good idea to communicate with them and try to tackle stuff together. Now while there are a lot of pros and a lot of things from within instant adventure that make it fun and worthwhile, there are also some cons, and I definitely want to share those with you as well. So you probably saw this coming a mile away, but I want to talk about the players. Now, no, I'm not complaining about the players being bad or not doing what they're supposed to be doing, but unfortunately it's a side effect of this kind of game mode. So what typically happens is you get put into a group with other people and you have some common objectives, usually quests. Well, what often does happen is people just like to spread apart and start doing their own thing. So even though eventually you'll complete the quest, you're never going to be able to really overcome those challenges that were designed to be faced by a group. The next thing that I want to talk about is sort of the flow of the gameplay within instant adventure. I don't think it's bad, but I think it does need a little bit of structure, and I'll tell you exactly what I mean. Let's say you've started playing instant adventure and you've been in it for about 20 to 30 minutes. In my experience, I've done a few quests, I've done a couple of world events with my group, and then I get ported out. It's really weird. I just get ported into another group, it says your adventure is ready, and I get into an entirely new group and into an entirely new area and just start doing new things. If that doesn't happen, then it just keeps going forever and ever, and seemingly it never ends. I think a great idea to fix this problem and to make it a little bit more exciting and less boring for the players would be to introduce some kind of independent storyline. Something that catches your attention as soon as you get into it and rewards you for sticking it out to the end. I think that would be a great idea, and maybe that would also fix the problem of people separating into smaller groups or even into individuals to accomplish parts of a quest. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this as well, so if you have any great ideas of your own, make sure to leave them in the comments section below. Alright, finally we're going to be getting into some 5-man dungeon action. This is Deep Strike Mines, and I hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to be going over some of the basic interactions within the dungeons here, although it's probably something that you guys have already seen before, either in Rift or in other MMOs. Pretty simple stuff. Go in, kill a bunch of baddies, kill some bosses, loot some stuff, get some gear, and get a bunch of XP while you're at it. So we're going to be going straight into one of the boss fights here. Now this is not the first boss. The first boss is sort of really uneventful, which is why I didn't want to show it to you guys. It's pretty much just tank and spank. At least this guy looks like he's pretty serious business. He does some nice AoE damage here, and you've got to keep moving around so you don't get knocked off the platform. But it does look like my group here's got some pretty good DPS. We've got a really awesome cleric healer, which is I think exactly what I was telling you guys in the video prior to this. Cleric healers are incredible. I don't know what it is, if it's just the skill of the player or whatever, but it seems like some of their abilities are a little bit overpowered, and they seem to be doing really well in PvP and PvP healing alike. Alright, this guy's almost dead. We're going to switch it up to Dominator Spec for the next boss. And just going to switch it up here to show you how versatile and easy it is to switch purposes on the fly inside of Rift. We've switched over to the Dominator purpose for the mage. So the Dominator purpose, it's pretty easy to play. It's mostly a single target DPS purpose, and what that allows us to do is to get a little bit of life leech and life gain on our targets, and to also apply just a ridiculous amount of damage over time effects and some conditional effects which allow us to do damage to the target, let's say when they decide to cast a spell or use an ability, or to set up some finishers by doing some damage to the target after a set period of time. So that definitely helps out with the burst damage of this purpose. Although I feel it's not really that great for PvE, I do like it a little bit more for PvP. It helps to boost survivability a little bit. But yeah, not so great in 5-man dungeons. Alrighty guys, that is going to do it for this episode of Let's Play Rift, and unfortunately for the series as well, as I'll be moving on to other content. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any comments as to what you'd like to see in the future, please leave them in the comments section below. You can also send me a PM, and I would love it if you checked out my blog at sspgaming.blogspot.com, where you can find all the latest news and updates about what's going on the channel. Also, don't forget to check out Friday Night Magic. It's happening tomorrow at 10 PM Eastern. Feel free to fire up your Magic 2014 duels with Planeswalkers and join me tomorrow for a chance to appear on the next episode. Once again guys, thank you very much for watching. If you like the content on the blog and the channel, please feel free to share, like, and subscribe, as it really helps me to continue to produce awesome content for you. And as always, stay classy, and we'll see you next time.